for the first year. Was that Diane?
I should say that if you're in the middle of a sentence, feel free to continue it.
Okay. So 70 to 80% of our junior analysts drop out within the first year, and that's the resolution that we need to solve. And thank you for bringing this to your consideration.
Same thing. So, alright, ready when you are. Aside from the financial and legal implications of Tim Armstrong's statements, I want to draw attention to our leadership from within the company. I feel that our leadership actually is not coming from a sound ethical place. First of all, we're choosing to blame our shortcomings as a company on distressed babies. We're essentially using distressed babies as a scapegoat for our own shortcomings, which first of all is not respecting the persons and is furthermore causing suffering for those families who've been affected by such an unimaginably unfortunate situation. Secondly, we are choosing to change our benefit program to a lump sum 401k program, which again is us choosing to assume more risks and to pass those on to our employees. What the 401k lump sum benefit program is essentially, it's a you leave, you lose policy. These employees who've been working all year for us to match their 401k benefit plan are essentially going to lose it if they get fired or leave earlier. And those who do choose to stay with the company until the end of the fiscal year are exposing themselves to the bear market trap, where they're not sure what the conditions are of the market will be when they choose to invest their money at the end of the year. So instead of giving them the option to spread their money out throughout the year, we're forcing them to do it at the end of the fiscal year, which is not creating value for our stakeholders. It's important for us to realize that as a company we have to act ethically, and to act ethically is to ameliorate suffering, to provide value for our stakeholders, and to respect persons. And our leadership isn't doing any of that. And because of that, we've lost trust within our peers, and we've garnered negative publicity. But these are just signals of a deeper ethical consideration, ethical dilemma that I believe we need to consider as a company. So thank you for your consideration.
First of all, I'd like to thank our Board of Trustees of Golden West College for hearing me out. The Board of Trustees has responsibility towards the students. And to fulfill that responsibility, we have to start working with Higher One Holdings Company, the sole distributor of student aid for Golden West. Higher One Holdings Company, their banking practices are nothing short of unethical, dishonest, deceptive, and overall just theft. Under Higher One Holdings, students have to pay exorbitant, excessive fees that they have no way of knowing about because Higher One does not tell them. All of this amounts to over $850,000 taken from students that was meant for their education. This, coupled with severely lacking communication and just plain confusing policies, leads to our students having a massive burden on their shoulders that we cannot allow them to have. My friend Spencer, who's with us today, tried to get his financial aid, was denied a direct deposit. He had to call repeatedly to get his Higher One card. And when it did, 1 week before the semester ended, he faced debt because he had to pay for it himself. He faced bad credit, and Higher One still had the audacity to charge him hundreds of dollars in fees. This is nothing new for Higher One. It faces millions of dollars in lawsuits, both to other schools and to the FDIC. We cannot, in good conscience, allow our students to continue to be in the hands of a corporation who does not have their best interests at heart. Money is being taken right out of their pockets. It's money meant for their education. We cannot allow this to continue. That's why we must act now.
Is a regional discount retail store chain based here in Minnesota. We are currently discussing implementing data mining throughout all of our store locations. The ethical issue that comes about when implementing data mining is how to resolve the tension between customers' right to privacy and the added benefits, like enhanced customer service and financial benefits to City Shop. When implementing data mining, we believe we can do it differently in a way that promotes a competitive advantage for us and enhances the customer trust and loyalty that we have worked so hard to create. By not selling our customer data, by being extremely transparent in the implementation of data mining, by not linking customer information to a name but instead an ID number, and by investing in state-of-the-art security systems. Also, by giving our customers a chance to opt out if they're still uncomfortable with the idea of data mining. We will be able to data mine in a way that protects our customers' rights and also allows us to enhance their overall customer experience when shopping at our stores. So through this unique way of data mining, we will be able to grow as a company and build our brand based around the customer trust and loyalty that has made our company successful. And through this uniquely transparent way of data mining, we will create value for our customers, but most importantly, protect the rights of our company, or our customers.
Okay, I'd like to ask you how it felt to be an insider. How did this feel? In terms of, you made a case as an outsider. Was there any difference? Did you feel anything any different
Guilty.
when you were doing it inside? Accountable?
Accountable, yes.
How does that change, if at all, your view of your role once you go out into the world in whatever business role you're hoping to go out in? When everyone focuses on the bottom line and everyone focuses on legal liability and the conversation moves on.
I think it really means that you get that opportunity to have a more strategic impact. So you always have to be diplomatic when you go about it, and you always have to be considering everything and who essentially has those invested opportunities in the possibility. But what you want to do is present it in a way that shows it's good for the whole group. And that's not necessarily utilitarian to say, but you want to make sure that it leaves a lasting impact, not only for yourself and your generation at the company, but those who come after it.
I would say, in theory, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised to be in a situation where that happens, because I know, like normally in America, corporate America, that's sort of the focus is financial and legal aspects of situations. So it's sort of like humbling to think that I can be in a situation where I have to bring it up, the fact that there's an ethical dimension to this problem we're faced with, and just having the experience of doing it. And this is kind of comical, but the fact that being in that actual environment being very humbling.
And I think one of the things that's so difficult, because I've worked with a lot of CEOs, is the unintended consequences. I don't know about Goldman. I don't think Goldman ever intended for things to mushroom the way it did. Certainly Target and Nordstrom's didn't. Certainly somebody making a stupid comment doesn't expect that his life and everyone else's could potentially change if he's sued. And certainly a vendor who does what he does and a company or an organization not seeing it doesn't necessarily know that. Or a leader under pressure needing to do something doesn't put in hand the $5 million he's going to be paid that year.
Right.
With telling people that because two families had the tragedy of babies that almost died, and making other people feel that it's their problem, their fault. So unintended consequences is probably the most important thing that we have going for us when we start talking about ethics, because that's one of the avenues where we can get people to listen, to talk through what are they, because often we don't know. You don't get into a data mining discussion without asking a lot of questions, and if somebody's at the table wondering, is there going to be harm here? Who could be hurt? And somebody actually has the courage to say, will anyone be hurt by this decision? That's kind of a powerful opportunity that you each have no matter what your role is. So in terms of giving feedback, and it's really hard to do that, like you've just finished talking and in 10 seconds I need to say something meaningful. Try to. I think each of you did a really good job. Terry, you seemed the most able to slip into the role really quickly. And I think the naturalness with which we try to do that and leapfrog off of something someone said is really useful. All of you had a passion and a commitment to what you were trying to interject. You were particularly strong about that, and there are going to be certain circumstances when that will work well, and there'll be other circumstances when you'll want a different strategy. But I think that each of you has lived this issue so long. I guess my question is, are you done with the issue now? Or is there another... Is there, having lived this so long, do you see any possible ways of your interest in this issue taking another step? And if so, would you be willing to share what those might be?
Well, as far as this case goes, Tim Armstrong already issued an apology, and I believe AOL is already taking steps to correct the problem at hand. But within a broader sense of ethical leadership, that's something I definitely plan on following up with as a concept, like a larger concept, that leaders need to act ethically, and that it's not just some abstract standard that we're reaching for, but that acting ethically as a leader within any corporation has like tangible long-term effects, like positive effects for an organization, as far as like driving profit and making sure like these type of things don't happen. So like whatever organization that I choose to involve myself in, I want to make sure I'm holding my leaders accountable and making sure they're acting ethically in that aspect of things.
And that starts with holding yourself accountable as an ethical leader. Yeah, that's good. You going to pursue data mining?
Yeah, probably in some way, but yeah, depending on what companies I go into for internships and stuff, it's definitely something that's growing and most companies are doing, so I think I have a lot of insight that I could bring forward on the topic.
What about, are you going into a company, do you think, where, how will you deal with the fact that profit is going to be on every company's mind first?
I think that was one of the big things that really intrigued us by Goldman, because at the heart of it, it matters in every company, but being an investment bank as well, that's essentially where all of the information comes from. And what we tried to focus on throughout this entire process, I think, was the assets that come from actually your internal employees, and the fact that they're really the biggest things that could help you reach those profits. Because even if they're the most driven people out there, and even if they're the most competent, if you don't create a culture where they can essentially exceed your expectations and grow to the sense that they can build your reputation internally. I think that was the coolest thing for me, because I'm personally a marketing major, and reputation is essentially people could go out and say, you should rebrand yourself and do some marketing and maybe present yourself in the best light on television or go about other ways. But at the same time, if you don't have people inside your company who believe in those values, then what matters is if you have the best reputation out there, but people inside don't believe in it.
So one of the things you might be doing when you get into your first job is checking culture. And trying to get a sense of, do they just talk it or do they live it? Anybody have any comments you'd like to make about how your team members did?
Bravo.
Are you pretty proud of it? I think you deserve another minute. And I know that this will make you very sad, but this is your last presentation of today, anyway. Kayla, thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brad. Thanks, Liz.